Hello, Super Kids, and welcome to Super Saturday! I am super excited that you are here with us again today. Today we have another special episode. Why is it so special? Because it is going to be read and shared with you by our Super Kids. Super Kids just like you. And hey, by the way, if you want to share a Bible story on Super Saturday, send a video. The email address will be at the end of today's episode. We love to have you be a part of Super Saturday. All right, so today your story is going to be the Wall of Jericho. It's a great story, and it's really important because it teaches us about listening to the instructions of God, and not just listening to his instructions, but actually following his instructions. So are you ready to get started? You're going to hear an amazing Bible story, the Wall of Jericho. You're going to see Make You Laugh Marcus and see other super kids just like you. Let's get started.
Hello, Sunshine Band! Are you ready to laugh? Okay. Why did the egg hide? Because he was a little chicken! See you later!
And I'm Josiah. Have you heard of the story after Abraham died and Joshua sent spies out to spy over the land? Well, I have. And they met a woman named Rahab who hid them so that way they wouldn't get killed? Well, this story is coming from Joshua, the 2nd chapter to chapter 6. The two spies couldn't wait to get back to the people of Israel and tell them the good news. The Lord has surely given us the land into our hands, they shouted excitedly. The people of Jericho are afraid of us. They've heard about our one true God. They know all the good things he did for us in Egypt and in the desert. This time, the spies trusted God. The people listened to the spies and trusted God too. Just one problem. Somehow a lot of men and women and children and cattle and donkeys had to get across the Jordan River. Across the river? How are they gonna get across the river? Well, God had a plan, like he always does. Nothing takes him by surprise. God didn't say, "What? You mean there's a river blocking the path? Whatever will we do?" Oh no, that's not what he did. God had a plan, a good one. And it involved another miracle. If you think this miracle is good, wait until you see the next Jericho miracle. It gets even better. God's miracles are, well, miraculous. God can do mighty and powerful things. But we're getting ahead of our story. Let's get back to the Jordan River miracle. Joshua told the priests to lead the way across the Jordan River while carrying the Ark of the Covenant. Priests carried the Ark of Covenant with 2 poles. Are you ready for the miracle? Yes, I'm ready. As soon as the priests who were carrying the Ark stepped into the Jordan River, the water stopped. It stopped flowing upstream from where they stood, and it piled itself into a big, huge wall of water. Now the people could walk across on dry ground. Dry ground! How cool is that? Dry ground? That's totally amazing. Yeah. No one could do that. But with the power of God, that was a total miracle. How cool is that? The priests, still carrying the ark, stopped in the middle of the riverbed. They stood there patiently and waited until the entire nation of Israel had crossed on dry ground. Then God told Joshua to have one man from each of the 12 tribes pick up a stone from the middle of the riverbed, right where the priests stood. The men carried the stones to their camp. Joshua stacked the 12 stones as a memorial to remind the people of God's power. God wanted the people to remember how he had stopped the river from flowing so they could walk on dry ground. When all the people had crossed the river, the priests with the ark finally finished crossing. As soon as their feet left the riverbed, the water came in a really, really loud noise, just crashing down. The river flowed normally again. On the other side of the river, the Israelites faced another problem. The city of Jericho was surrounded by tall stone walls and strong gates. No one could get inside the giant city. But God had a plan, a rather strange plan. Here's what God told Joshua to do. For 6 days, have all the armed men of Israel walk around the walls of the city one time each day. At the very front of the line, have 7 priests lead them while holding trumpets. Behind those priests, have other priests carry the Ark of Covenant. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, with the priests blowing trumpets. Then have the priests sound a long, loud trumpet blast, and have the whole army shout as loud as possible. When they do, the city walls will fall down.
Say what? How'd they do that with all the trumpets and the screaming and all that? That sounds like a strange plan. Even though buildings are so strong and big, it's God's plan, so it's gonna fall.
God's way might have sounded a little odd, but God always knows best. His plans and ideas are always the right ones. Not one single person doubted God. The people did exactly what God told them to. Day 1, march around the city. Day 2, march around the city. Day 3, 1 march around the city. Day 4, 1 march around the city. Day 5, 1 march around the city. Day 6, 1 march around the city. Day 7 was a little different. 7 laps around the city with the priests blowing trumpets. Then the priests blew the trumpets really loud, and all the Israelite soldiers shouted, "Rah! Rah!" Guess what happened? The wall of Jericho came tumbling down, exactly as God said it would.
I told you, it might have been a little bit different and a little bit odd, but I told you it's gonna fall.
The Israelites took control of the city just like God wanted them to. And Joshua remembered the 2 spies promised to Rahab. He sent the spies to save her and her whole family. The end.